Joining me in the studio is Ann Berwick, co-director of Newton's Department of Sustainability. Ann is here today to talk to us about Newton Power Choice, an electricity program through which Newton residents and businesses will be able to buy renewable electricity. Ann, thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So what is Newton Power Choice?
Right. Newton Power Choice is what's called, under state law, a municipal aggregation program. So in Newton, Eversource delivers our electricity. And if we don't go with one of these competitive suppliers who's been marketing electricity, then Eversource, through what's called its basic service program, also buys electricity on our behalf. Instead of having Eversource buy electricity for basic service customers, under state law, cities and towns can do that and go out on the market and buy electricity for its towns or cities' basic service customers. Eversource continues to deliver the electricity. So from the point of view of an electricity customer, you don't really experience a change.
Right. So why is Newton switching to renewable electricity?
Yep. So under state law, Eversource and other utilities are required to buy 14% this year. 14% goes up 2% a year. 14% of their electricity from certain kinds of renewable sources like solar and wind. But cities and towns that do aggregation programs can add to that 14%. And Newton feels strongly that that's appropriate because of the threat of climate change. So renewables don't emit greenhouse gases, and those are what cause the climate to change.
Right. You mentioned aggregation. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is?
Yeah. So aggregation just means, aggregate means bringing together. So aggregation means bringing together the community electricity purchasers.
Okay. Interesting. How did you become involved in Newton Power Choice?
Yep, so I'm an environmental lawyer. I actually worked for Governor Patrick for 8 years, first as his Undersecretary for Energy, and then as chair of the Department of Public Utilities. So I'm just really interested in, and I've worked for many years on renewable power and other energy issues.
And I know that Newton Power Choice offers different electricity choices. What are they?
Yes. So this is actually an opt-out program under state law. That's not Newton's choice. That's how the state law works. So that means you get a letter. People on basic service got a letter from the mayor earlier this week or late last week, which says if you don't do anything, you will be a participant in Newton Power Choice. But you have choices. You can opt up to 100%, to buy 100% of your energy from electricity from renewable sources. You can opt down and stick with the state requirement of 14%, or you can just stick with basic service. Interestingly, at this point in time, if you go with, so let me back up actually. So the mayor chose as a standard amount of renewables 46% on top of the 14% that's the state requirement, so 60%. That's if you do nothing, 60% of your electricity supply will be from renewable sources.
Wow.
That is actually costing you less than basic service, $16 a month less than basic service. If you opt up to 100%, it will cost you $13 a month less than basic service.
Wow.
That differential will change in July when Eversource's basic service rates change. So the Newton Power Choice price is stable for the 22-month contract, but Eversource's prices change every 6 months for residential customers. So we don't know for the duration of the 22-month contract exactly what the price differential will be at all times. Right now it's extremely favorable for Newton Power Choice participants.
Yeah, so if people end up wanting to opt out, because I know that you automatically enroll people, how can they do that?
Yep, they can do it in a number of ways. They can go to our website, which is newtonpowerchoice.com, and it indicates there how they can opt out. They can mail a card that came with a letter that they got from the mayor, which indicates that they want to opt out, or that they can call a number that's given in that letter. we are running a pretty ambitious campaign to urge people to opt up to 100%.
Right.
And remember, that opt-up now only costs you $3 more than sticking with the default level, and is still cheaper than basic service.
And why are residents becoming automatically enrolled in the program?
Again, that's because of state law. The
Oh,
state
right,
law
yeah.
works on an opt-out basis. So if you don't do anything, you're in the program.
Okay. If people want to learn more about Newton Power Choice, they can go to your website. What else can they do?
Yes, the best way to learn more about it is to go to the website newtonpowerchoice.com. So that's a very, very detailed website. I really want to reiterate that I'm urging people to opt up to 100%. I'm also urging people to put up a yard sign that urges other people to opt up to 100%. And if you want to do that, you can email me actually at aberwick@newtonma.gov, aberwick@newtonma.gov. And so we're really urging people to take yard signs to really help get the word out. Our only problem with the yard signs is the ground is frozen.
Right.
So people are managing to get yard signs in, but it's going to be difficult for a couple weeks anyhow.
And I know you have a meeting coming up tonight, right?
Yes, a meeting in the mayor's office tonight, and then a series of 6 meetings over the course of the next month.
That's great.
Where people can learn more. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. In addition to going to our website, which has information as to where those meetings are, come to one of those meetings and ask questions. I'll be at all those meetings.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Of course. Once again, if you'd like to learn more about Newton Power Choice, information is available at masspowerchoice.com/Newton. Thank you, Anne, for joining us today, and Newton News will be right back.